Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Kim Smith Jenkins, and welcome to The Link Up. This is our brand new live web stream show that we will have simulcasting on YouTube, Facebook, as well as some behind the scenes coverage on Instagram Live. So, we are so grateful that you are tuning with us on whatever platform you may find us. And I want to just share with you about this link journey. So, a little background about myself. I come from television news. I started off in the news business about 12 years ago, and I worked through different markets, starting in South Alabama all the way up to San Francisco as my last stop. So, it was an exciting journey. I loved telling stories. I loved the connections and the relationships that I've built over the years. And one that left me was my love for journalism and to tell stories. But who am I telling stories about? I know that I am gifted and called to pour into women. And so I created Link Media to do just that. It is a platform where we are connecting women globally to be able to become their best versions of themselves in business and at home in their personal lives. So we welcome you on this journey. We are just starting it off this year, and we will really fully launch our services in 2021. But this year is all about you, the community, and the tribe that we're building. And so I'm just so honored that you are here with us, tuning in to our very first episode of The Link Up. And every Wednesday, I will be chatting with an influential woman who is doing great things in business, whether they're an entrepreneur or a careerist, and just telling about their journey, their struggles, and their success throughout their lives and throughout their careers, and how they're balancing it all. You know, I think women, we are superheroes. We do a lot. We are moms, we are wives, we are significant others, we are leaders, we are the people that are the support systems to a lot of our families and the businesses that keep our world going. So we are all about just pouring into you as the women, and also the men who support women as well. So we don't want to exclude you guys at all. So when we get things going here for our first episode with The Link Up, I'm so excited about this episode because our first guest is a near and dear friend of mine. She's basically like a sister to me, Alex Munchak. And so today, COVID-19, she founded The Modern Teacher, and Alex is amazing. Her resume is impeccable, and she is a strong educator who is passionate about pouring into the next generation. And she's done a lot over her time. And so we can look at some of the highlights that she's accomplished throughout her career. She's done things like teaching abroad. She worked in Paris and Milan, and also here in the United States. She's established this global tutoring company and blog. And a cool fun fact about her, she's the daughter of Pro Football Hall of Famer Mike Munchak, for all of you NFL fans out there as well. So Alex Munchak, welcome you to our show today. I'm so excited to have you here. And Alex, it has been awesome just to watch your journey, because I've known you for a long time, and I've seen you in the classroom, in a school system atmosphere, and I've seen you grow your business to where it is today. Take me back to those days, back at the University of Georgia where we met, and you thought about going into education and pouring into the next generation.
Awesome. Yes, definitely started at University of Georgia. Best years ever. I went to school for education. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. As soon as I graduated, I got a job at a year-round school in Atlanta. Inner city, it was teaching fourth grade. I was so excited. So I literally graduated in May. Maybe 2 weeks later, I started teaching. So that was really exciting for me. I was there for 2 years. And at the time, I'm 23. I'm like, let me do something totally different. I decide that I want to move to Europe and teach there. I had been to Europe one time, so I was not well-traveled at that time at 23. But it was just something, I don't know, it was just something that was really within me. Like, I just wanted to go explore. So I started to apply to schools, all the American schools in Europe. So the American School of Milan actually emails me back, and they say, okay, we want to interview you. So this was kind of my first time dealing with technology and education, because the whole interview process was on Skype. It was online. So that was really, say it again?
You were ahead of the curve.
Oh, Yes, exactly. I was. So that was really interesting. And there was about 5 interviews, and I ended up getting the job. I had never been to Milan or Italy. I didn't speak Italian. I didn't know anybody. So this was really just me going and hoping that it was going to work out, and it did. It was honestly the best 3 years of my entire life. I taught second grade at the American School of Milan. And it was so neat there because they really wanted you to understand your students, and my students were from all over the world. I had a couple Italian students, but I had students from Yemen and Egypt and Australia, a couple from America, France, all over. So the big thing was to really be able to understand your students. So the school really encouraged us to travel. And I really had never done that before. So this was the first time that I really saw the world. And it really helped me as an educator to understand, cultures and religions and languages that were different than my own, which I feel helped me to be so much more powerful as a person and also in my profession. So living in Europe was just amazing. It was definitely the best decision I ever made. So that was very exciting. And I was teaching there, like I said, for 2 years. And on the side, I started teaching these English playgroups. So I had maybe like a group of 5 kids, and I would just teach them English through songs and games and arts and crafts. And I realized that all of a sudden I'm making more money on like my side hustle than I am actually teaching. As everyone's probably finding out now, teachers are very underpaid and deserve much more. But at that time, I'm like, okay, I still want to teach. I loved that one-on-one interaction, kind of like a small group. So I decided, let me remove myself from the classroom and start tutoring. So after 2 years in Milan, I moved to Paris, and I go back, I get my master's in education. And while I'm doing that, I'm tutoring full time. One-on-one, I was teaching or tutoring with the American school, their international school, and then even just teaching adults how to speak English, French adults that didn't know English. So it was a really cool experience. I continued to travel. My visa was expiring, I'd hit year 3. So I was like, okay, you know what? I need to move back to the States, and I really want to start my company. Instead of going back into the classroom, let me try to start a tutoring company. So I did a little research, and I decided, okay, I want to move to LA. At this time, I'm 27. I've spent all my money traveling around Europe, shopping, all that fun stuff.
Of course, you have to shop when you're in Europe.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, I have no money. I at that time was not doing such a great job of saving. And I come back here, and I'm living with one of my girlfriends. She's like, you can just share a room with me until you kind of get it together. And I just kind of hit the ground running. I was so motivated. And I had to be. Like I said, I didn't have my own place. I didn't really have any income coming in. So what I did is I first built my website, and I wanted to have some sort of online platform that I could refer parents to and teachers and principals. I literally went to probably 100 schools in the LA area. I would say about 90% of them turned me away, like, for security reasons, like, you can't come in here, you can't drop off your flyers, you can't drop off your resume. But I sent so many emails as well. And finally, I had about 3 really big schools in LA that contacted me and said, hey, we want to meet with you. We're interested in using you as a tutor for some of our kids. And from there, it's just expanded so much and grown, and I'm so thankful. But that, it took about 6 months, I would say like 6 to 8 months to really get it going. And it was tough, but I am so excited, to be where I am now. And it's just been an amazing adventure. So that's everything in a quick nutshell.
And it's awesome to see how you've really embraced technology and incorporated that in your business and how you reach your students. Because I have a 10-month-old daughter, and she already knows how to swipe on my iPhone. So I can imagine what students know,
Right.
and how they're always interacting and engaging via their devices. And so when you think about this situation that we're in, it's such uncharted territory. No one knows how to handle it. So over the past few months, parents have had to take on the role as teachers. And
Mhm.
you've seen your business has grown so successfully, just utilizing the technology that's out there. How has that really helped you really have a leg up in the industry when you're thinking about the ability to virtually tutor? And it's a really difficult thing when you're not sitting there in front of the student and keeping them engaged.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing, the last thing you just said, because I feel like I'm a person who normally has, I'm high energy, but you have to multiply that by 100 when you are online with a kid because, you're sitting here online through a computer with maybe a kid that's in third grade. And if you're not, excited about what you're teaching and, using different visuals and finding all these different ways to incorporate technology while you're teaching the lesson, they're going to be looking around the room. It's hard enough when you're in person, and now that we're just online, I've become teacher of the year because I'm just literally trying everything to keep my students engaged. But it's been fun, and like you said, I have had to incorporate tons of technology. I'm using Zoom for the majority of my lessons, and the reason I chose Zoom is because that is the program that the majority of schools are using. So I thought it would just be easiest for, the student. They already know how to use it. I'm also using different like whiteboard software so that if we're doing a math problem, they can see what I'm writing instead of having to, hold up a piece of paper to the screen. You can also do, screen share where they can see my screen so I can play like a really cool video. Like Brain Pop is a great website that I use a lot that parents can use at home too. It's like a cartoon way of explaining different things. So I can play a quick video and they can see it from the computer. So Zoom has definitely been really helpful. And I feel like there's been so many websites that have been really helpful as well that I think parents can also utilize because now they're all becoming teachers while they're at home. So yeah, technology has been so important, especially now.
Yeah, and don't worry, parents, if you're watching, we will make sure to add some links to some of the helpful sites that Alex mentioned, as well as some other tips. And of course, the link to her website at www.themodernteacher.com. And so when you think about the phrase the modern teacher, what does that encompass for you? And why is that so important that you emphasize modern in that?
Yes, it's just kind of, keeping up with the times. And even like right now, being able to be adaptable, flexible in any situation that's going on, right? So, especially right now I'm utilizing, like I said, technology so much and trying to come up with different ways to entertain kids, keep them engaged. And I just want teaching to be fun. That's always been so important to me since I became a teacher when I was 21 years old. I've always wanted my kids to just enjoy learning and have a good time. And so I want it to be hands-on, interactive. If I'm teaching a science lesson, we're actually doing the science experiment or doing something that teaches that concept. And I had that philosophy and that mindset while I was teaching. And now I also have it as a tutor. And I want them to view education as something that can also be kind of glamorous and fun and, modern. It's my favorite word. So it's been really cool kind of creating, especially, curating my Instagram and showing that teachers can be very fashionable and fun. And now with my DIY videos that I'm creating, that's been really awesome and something that I've been really enjoying myself. I've been keeping myself entertained during quarantine. So just always coming up with new modern ways to make education really exciting for kids.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. What I love about looking at your Instagram feed is that you do make being an educator look hip and fresh and something that is enticing, especially for the generation looking up to you, because we still need students and kids to aspire to be teachers because educators are very important for our future. And so it makes it appealing to the next generation. And I love that you keep it very fresh and you make it, it's not like, what people described before as the teacher, the old lady with the bun and the pencil stuck in her hair and just like, not doing, with the apple on the desk. And it's not that. You make it look very hip. And I think that you do an excellent job of like giving that persona.
Thank you. I know I really wanted to help kind of destroy that stereotype of teachers that we see, in TV shows or movies or even in books. Like you said, kind of like the teacher that doesn't know anything that's going on and, they just look, um, like it's not exciting, so I just really
Or
wanted to
relatable.
yes, exactly. I wanted to change the perspective of teachers. So thank you for all your words. That was really sweet.
Well, thinking of women and people that we admire, every week on the Link Up, we're going to honor and spotlight an influential woman that is changing the game in so many ways in business, in life. And so we will definitely take some time out to just share someone that inspires us here at Link Media. And our first woman of the week is Sara Blakely. And Sara Blakely is the founder of Spanx. Many of you probably know the name, Billionaire Blakely. Let's not forget that. She has made quite the living creating form-fitting undergarments for women and making us, have this opportunity to feel good about the way we look in our clothes. And one quote she has is, "Don't be intimidated by what you don't know." And I love the fact that she said that, because when you think about, even in the classroom, a lot of times kids may not raise their hand. They may not want to speak out when they know the answer, but it's not always about what you don't know. And something that Sara Blakely has done is, like, she is very upfront about, like, she didn't really know where things were going to go. She decided to cut off a pair of pantyhose and make something out of it. And she just really, like, found, worked her way through her business and found her way through it all by step. And next thing you know, she's on Oprah, and then her product goes crazy. So you just never know where just one idea can take you. So when you think about how that relates to working with students, a lot of times students may keep their ideas back. They may not think it's smart enough or it's good enough. What have you pour so much into students. What are some of those lessons that maybe your students have taught you about life?
Well, it's interesting because as a tutor and as an educator, you're always wanting to build your students up. You want them to feel great about themselves. You want to really boost that confidence. And that's the number one thing that I focus on in my sessions with the student, because when they feel confident, then they're not afraid to ask the questions, like you said, right? They're not afraid to take risks. They're not afraid to fail, right? They're just going to do their best. And that is what I'm always saying to them over and over and over again. So then it's really cool when I see a student who maybe doesn't have the confidence that they need. We're working on these things, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh wow, I can do this math problem." So then they're saying they can do it, and so now when they're in class and there's something that's like a little bit challenging, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this." And it's so exciting when they kind of share those stories with me. And it's taught me that I need to take my own advice. Look at them. Look at this kid who's really just going for it and, building this confidence and not being afraid. I need to do the same thing. And it's so important, especially in business, to take those risks as well. Kind of like Sara did, right? And I also feel like her entire company revolves around confidence, making women feel confident. And that's why she's been so successful, because when we're wearing Spanx, we feel better about ourselves, and maybe we would do something or take a risk that we wouldn't normally take. And it's kind of the same in education, right? If you can build them up, the students up, they're feeling better about themselves. They're getting good grades. They're saying, "Oh my gosh, like I just got an A on this test." It just makes them more excited about education, more confident. And I think watching that happen with my students, I've learned so much from that, myself.
Yeah, something else I love about Sara Blakely is that she never forgets where she came from, and she never forgets the woman who was once who is where she once was. And she actually gave out $5 million as a fund or a grant to female-owned businesses, not women who have startups or small businesses. We all know that this is a difficult time. Everyone's trying to navigate. The economy is down. Job loss is crazy. It's insane. And the fact that you can grow a business to that scale, have so much money, and and just always remember thinking about others and thinking about the other women that are out there that are still trying to keep their businesses afloat. I think that was awesome to see her do that. And I think, that's what Link Media is all about, is really connecting women and supporting each other in our businesses. And so supporting businesses like The Modern Teacher. And, I'm excited to see your growth and how you've just really been able to just continue to keep going, because I remember those days when you first started, and now you've grown to the place where you have other tutors working with you as well, right?
Yes, it's been really exciting. I started hiring tutors about 2 years ago. Before then, I was doing everything myself. I was doing, tutoring, educational therapy, test prep, homeschool, everything myself. And I was working, 12-hour days, and I was just sometimes more. I was exhausted constantly. I was with my kids. I was so excited, and it was like the adrenaline. I just kept going, but I really realized that to be able to expand and grow to where I wanted to get to, the place that I'm trying to get to, I needed to build a team. So that's been really exciting. And I have been very particular about the people that I've hired, because I want them to represent my company and, share the same teaching philosophies that I do, and just be so passionate about teaching. So I've found some amazing tutors. It's been really exciting. We literally now cover everything, because I personally specialize in kindergarten through 8th grade. And also, like I said, test prep and educational therapy. But now I have tutors that specialize in high school. I have tutors that, they're doing enrichment programs like coding, languages, art lessons. So I feel like now I can offer so much more. So it's been a really cool experience.
And something else that's really cool with you, the DIY videos, like you mentioned earlier, so fun to watch. We have a few of those videos we want to share with you, but it's really cool. Yeah, this is one of your fun, what is this, the Storm in a Jar?
This is Storm in a Jar. This was so much fun. I've actually done this with a few of my students. And you know what? I've been doing these projects for so many years, especially with my homeschool kids. And now that everything's going on and we're all at home, and parents were messaging me on Instagram, and friends of friends and my clients, like, what do we do with our kids? Like, after they're done with their actual work, like, what can I do with them that's still kind of fun and educational? And I was like, you know what? Let me start filming these videos.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yes, this one was so cool. It was so funny. The next day I FaceTime my mom, and I was like, look what happened. I was literally like a kid again, all excited, like doing my science experiment. Because as you can see, like the middle cup is empty, and you leave it overnight, and through the paper towel, it soaks up the water, and all the water goes into the middle cup. And it turns green, right? Because blue and yellow is green. So it was really fun to wake up and to see it. I was very excited about it.
Like a kid on Christmas morning, you were excited.
I ran into my living room. I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. So.
That is so awesome. So when you think about moms and dads at home stuck with their kids and not knowing what to do, what are some tips that you can offer up as parents try to navigate? I mean, most of them have made it, thankfully, through the school year. Now we're entering into summer break. How can they keep them engaged and keep some fun educational things over the summertime?
Right. So something I'm doing personally, I'm continuing to make my DIY videos, and I post all the instructions and materials and links to where you can buy it on Amazon on my blog. But now I'm trying to encourage my students and other kids to make their own DIY videos, so their own science projects. And I've had a couple students do it so far and turn it in. It's been so cute. I'm so excited to post it. But I'm sending out emails and I'm posting things on Instagram. So that's something really cool that a parent could do with their kid. They could have them come up with a science experiment, or they could even make like a certain type of slime or anything, film it, and then they can either send it to me and I'll do the editing, or they can take it a step further and do the editing themselves through iMovie, or there's like a million apps right now. And the one student that sent it to me, he edited everything himself, and he was so excited.
Awesome.
So it was so cute. But that's something that, could be really fun to do. So not just do the DIY videos, but have your students get creative and come up with something that they want to create themselves. Gosh, there's so much. There's a company called Hello Bello. I don't know if you've heard of it. I've actually reached out to them, and I'm going to try to collaborate with them in some way. But it's like an online virtual camp, and it's really cute. So you can follow them on Instagram, and I may be teaching a science lesson or doing a DIY video, but they have all different sorts of stuff like kid yoga, or like art lessons, music lessons. So that's been really helpful. I feel like for a lot of parents, that a lot of these companies like that are doing similar things, virtual camps. Um, Make a TikTok video with your kid. That's another.
If you are the modern teacher, you have to do a TikTok video. How has that been with your students? I'm sure your lessons are a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. Going back to Sarah and talking about, learning from people, learning from my kids, I've definitely learned about TikTok through all of my students. I had no idea what it was. I mean, of course I had heard of it, but I'm like, what is this? My kid's like, are you on TikTok? Can I follow you on TikTok? I'm like, I don't know what this is. I have no idea. And now they're doing all the dances. And now like during our Zoom sessions, they're like in the background singing all the songs that are on TikTok. So I'm now very well versed in TikTok. It's very entertaining, and I've definitely been watching the videos. I don't have my own account yet as far as actually posting. So that's something that I'll have to do. But I feel like that's something super fun that a parent could do with their kids. I've been seeing all these different dances that families have been doing that have been so cute. So that's kind of like a fun, interactive way to kind of be cool with your kid, right? Because TikTok's the cool thing right now. Another thing that I thought would be so cute on TikTok, maybe someone can do this and hopefully it'll go viral because they have all those like different TikTok things. But I was thinking of doing something like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? But it'll be whatever grade the student is in. So let's say they're in third grade, they could come up with 3 questions that they learned in third grade that they think their parents won't be able to answer. And then ask their parent on film, which could be kind of embarrassing, but just like something like, which planet is closest to the sun, or what's the hottest planet, or the biggest planet. All sorts of questions they could ask. Who was the third president?
All the things that we forgot that we thought we needed to know, we forgot them.
Right, exactly. I know. As a teacher, I know so many random things, and no one would ever have to know.
But a trivia partner.
Oh, I definitely would. I can name all the presidents in order. I know everything. Everything that you would know at elementary school, I should say. I don't know everything, but anything you learned kindergarten through 5th grade, I know.
Well, speaking about fun and games, we're going to play a quick game here called Rapid Fire with the link up. So, Alex, first thing that comes to mind, you just spit it out when I ask you the question. So, first thing you did this morning?
Brushed my teeth. Had some coffee.
The last book you read?
Oh my gosh. The Outsiders, because I did it with one of my kids. I read it with one of my kids, Outsiders.
Your favorite song?
Selena, Dreaming of You.
When you think about your woman that you admire the most, who is that?
My mom.
Oh, we love Mercy. She's awesome.
Yeah, love her.
When you think about your favorite subject outside of school, what is it? What's your favorite subject to talk about?
You mean non-academically?
Outside of school. I had to make sure I say that for the teacher.
I'm like, travel.
Oh, yes. Favorite country?
Oh, France.
Favorite designer?
Ooh, Saint Laurent.
Most important self-care tip or product for yourself?
Self-care tip is taking quiet time for me. I do walks. I take a walk every night just to have some like complete alone time.
And are you into podcasts?
I'm not. I haven't got into anything. Do you have any good ones?
Oh, I have lots of podcasts that I can recommend. I will send them your way.
Yes.
So that's just a quick rapid fire, just to get to know you a little bit better. We are so happy that you were able to join our show. And we're so happy for all the folks that were tuning in on the different platforms through social media, on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, wherever you are finding us. We appreciate you for joining in and watching our first episode of The Link Up with Alex Munchak. And Alex, before you go, you got to tell us about what's on the horizon for the modern teacher. So much has happened for you over the past few years. What do you have coming up next?
The most exciting thing that I have coming up is I am building an app, and it should be done in the next month. I'm hoping the first phase of it. I'm very excited. It's been working on it for years. It's called Wizzy. It's going to be a math app for kids kindergarten through sixth grade. And it'll be full of video tutorials. I teach everything in a very interactive and just really quick to the point way. Every single video is 2 minutes or less, because the one thing I found with kids is after 2 to 3 minutes, they're elsewhere, and a lot of these tutorials that you see online, you go to YouTube and type something in, like adding fractions, it could be 8 to 10 minutes long. And, the attention span obviously is not that long with kids. So it's short to the point videos. All of them, after the video, they take a quiz to kind of test their knowledge. And then later, as I start to develop the app, they'll be able to earn prizes and tokens and redeem them for different things. And we're going to kind of gamify it. So I'm really excited. But the first phase should be launched in the next month. So be on the lookout for Wizzy by the Modern Teacher.
Awesome. That is amazing. I'm so excited for that project to come out, because I know you've been working very hard on it. So thank you so much for joining the Link Up. We're hoping to have you back on this summer so you can keep parents up to date on what to do with their kids as they're maybe even some still quarantined. We don't know what's going to happen. So we will love to bring you back on the show and chat more with us.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for joining the Link Up. And if you could please go ahead and follow us on all social platforms, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us at Link Media. You can get all of our tips, just everything that's happening with the company as we're continuing to grow, as we're sharing our journey with you. And remember, just always think of others and stay connected, especially during this difficult time. Reach out to someone that you love and that you care about, and that may need just a phone call today. So just pick up the phone or text or DM someone that you're thinking of. And we'll see you next time, because next week we're going to be talking to one of my favorite wedding planners. As all of you are lovebirds out there that are thinking about planning your wedding or what to do, how to get around all of this, saying yes during a pandemic. Christine Cook is going to join us next Wednesday. So make sure you tune in. 6:30 on the East Coast, 3:30 on the West Coast. And I can't wait to see you then. Thanks for joining.